Oh,
Yes, we have confirmation from Ahmad and admin. Ted Cruz. We get to unpack Ted Cruz. Oh my goodness gracious. There's so much to unpack here, Jennifer. I will start. Maybe we do like a back and forth here. So I'll start.
okay.
How MAGA is Ted Cruz? Ted Cruz is so MAGA that he made fun of California and the wildfires and that they had to do rolling blackouts, but then went across the border to Mexico to escape his own state that has no electricity. Jennifer, your turn.
Jesus. Like, why do we have to even unpack this? Can't we just pack him up in a suitcase and like ship him off to Mexico permanently? Like the citizens of Texas would be far better off, and probably Snowflake too.
He threw his own kids and wife under the bus.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his poor dog Snowflake.
I bet Cruz is an excellent husband.
Hallelujah!
Oh. Did you like? Can you imagine like the conversation after like Donald Trump called her ugly and he had to go home and after he didn't stick up for her? Like, could you?
Yeah,
imagine
exactly.
the conversation?
I
Like,
How MAGA is Ted Cruz? Ted Cruz helped support the insurrection, and then, even though he was supposed to be, in theory, an impartial juror at the impeachment hearing, he went and coordinated with Fox News and the defense team while the hearing was going on. That's how MAGA Ted Cruz is.
you want to see how mega Ted Cruz is? Just look at his freaking haircut. Like,
Okay, see, go ahead. Bag on the mullet. Bag on the mullet. Here, you know what? Wait. Here you go. We got pictures of them. There you go. You can start ripping into it. You got 26 seconds left.
26 seconds. I don't even know where to even begin with that. You know, we talk about like business in the front, insurrection in the back. But do insurrectionists, well, I guess like maybe some insurrectionists have that haircut and want to be associated, with it. But I feel like that should be like, have its own name. Like, I don't know. We need to find some kind of name for that haircut that links it to both Cruz and the insurrection and MAGA. So I don't know. I'm open to suggestions, but it's like the most. Who told him that this was a good style to cut your hair? Fire your barber. Like, I don't even know.
Could we call it a muzzle? Like a cross between a mullet and Cruz? A muzzle?
I have a feeling now.
A muzzle? I can't even pronounce it.
Maybe Heidi Cruz gave him that haircut at home as punishment for not defending her from the comments. He's still angry. It's been 4 years. She's mad. She gave him that haircut.
I'm gonna cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, that picture of him, that last picture where he's sitting like in the with no mask on, by the way. Apparently, Ted Cruz is trying to commit biological warfare by bringing deadly Mexican diseases back to the United States. Apparently, that was taken in the Admiralty Club, where he was waiting to fly back. Because I had to chaperone my kids and my wife couldn't handle it. But of course, the other thing we didn't even talk, we only glossed over it. His wife totally threw him under the bus because the wife was like, picking friends. Hey, there's no heat. Let's get the hell out of here. Who wants to come with us where it's sunny and warm?
Yeah, she's throwing him under the bus. Like, I think it's intentional. I still think she's mad. The haircuts, the throwing him under the bus and like having the documented, evidence of asking friends to go to Mexico. This is all part of a master plan. She's still mad. She's going to take him down.
Mods admins, if you could do this, if you could drop a link to the story that was written in the comments, if you could drop a link to the story about why the electrical grid in Texas failed. It's one of these pieces, Jennifer, we did a ton of research on and like 10 people read.
Yeah.
And I get it. People want...
Sure. Yeah.
I'm learning about journalism in the news business, and some of the aspects of it, Malcontents, is flat out gross.
Yeah.
And we are trying to not embrace the grossness as much as possible. And you can help us not embrace the grossness by clicking on the 2,000 word stories that we've researched heavily a lot more, because then we do more of that. Why do you only do salacious, awful stuff? Because that's what you click on. Anyway, mods admins, drop a link into that, because that will provide you a lot of information on just why it became the shit show that it became there
Winter
in
is coming.
Texas.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. What Governor Abbott, what Ted Cruz has done for Texas, they want for the rest of the United States.
Yeah.
They want you to have this wonderful, beautiful experience. And Jennifer, it is not lost on me that 6 weeks ago, Texans were saying, we're going to secede from the nation. We don't need the rest of you. We're Texas. We got oil. We got guns. We got crops. We got big National Guard. We got like Air Force. We're on that. We don't need any of you. And now they're like, federal government, please save us.
Yeah.
Including, remember, Ted Cruz, who in 2012 voted to deny residents of New York devastated by Superstorm / Hurricane Sandy, he voted to deny them aid. Basically going, well, it's their own fault.
Yeah, he's just gross. Like Ted Cruz is a parasite, a leech, something disgusting that I can't quite put into words. That is what Ted Cruz is.
Because what's happened in Texas is the unbridled this, and I could end up going an hour, and I'm not. That's why I'm going. Read the story. You'll understand if you read the story. But it is essentially unbridled capitalism to like a Blade Runner type of, or Judge Dredd type of universe, right? A dystopian universe specific to their power industry there. And in creating, in the name of consumer choice, what they did starting in 1999, their entire power grid has become so neglected that it's practically Soviet grade. They created essentially Soviet era failing infrastructure in the name of unbridled capitalism. And anybody in Texas who's a politician, Texans, telling you, well, they never saw this possibly happening. Or if you're one of the people saying, this is a once in a, it's not. It happened 10 years ago in 2011. It happened 10 years ago. And ERCOT was told, you need to do these investments. You know how much it was? $100 million. That's it. $100 million. And guess what, Texas? If you're one of these people like, I don't want to keep the government, keep them flat-footed goombas in Washington, D.C. out of my life, and you got burst pipes in your home, you better read your homeowner's insurance policy very, very carefully. Because a lot of homeowners insurance policies don't cover that shit. And guess who you're going to have to go? You're going to have to go to the federal government and get a guaranteed low interest loan from FEMA. Because the other thing they have in Texas, which actually isn't a bad thing, Jennifer, is Texas laws on treating your home like an ATM machine and getting home equity lines of credit are actually very tight. And it is something actually that Texas has done right. They did it, made that decision years ago in defense of home ownership. And it's one of the reasons when the great economic crash happened in 2008 that Texas did not suffer like many other states. And again, I'll give an inch where the inch is deserved. And the last thing, it wasn't green energy. Jennifer, do you know where there's windmills that power things?
Where, David?
They're in Antarctica, down at all the research stations in Antarctica. They run on windmills there. They have diesel generators as backups, but they run on because they have these things. They're called heaters, and they heat the turbines, so the hydraulic fluid doesn't freeze, and it just runs. And ERCOT was told to do that, and part of that is Ted Cruz and his bullshit.
Yep. Absolutely.
Do something, Texas. Because, last thing, Jennifer, I'll close on this. I've seen people from Texas go, but I'm a liberal. I voted for Joe Biden and we're gerrymandered and that's why. No, it's not why. Because gerrymandering has nothing to do with Ted Cruz getting elected because that is a statewide election. It has nothing to do with districts. If you're pissed off Texas, I lived in Texas 8 years. I'm reading. You guys are pissed. Do something. Do better. The theme of the night. All right.